how do you as an individual manage this dichotomy? I love to invest my time into doing some of both of these things every single day. I find myself sitting with one of my dream inspiring designers, Manish Arora, across the table, and I'm advising him, are anxieties related to health? So what did you do, and what can someone in a similar situation do? Of course, finding time to really put yourself in a space of maybe some deep breaths, sitting together as a family, affirming the fact that everything's going to be okay. Welcome everyone, I'm Stuti and I'm your host for the Because She Can podcast. Join us every week as we bring to you powerful stories of remarkable individuals who share with us their triumphs, the obstacles they faced, and the invaluable lessons they have learned along the way. Tarini is an entrepreneur, designer, yoga teacher, and wellness advocate. She is the founder of Tarini Nirula Accessories. She's also my yoga and meditation teacher. And that is why I can't wait to get her on the podcast to share her experience and wisdom with all of you. So, Tarini, before we start this invigorating talk with you, like you do before every personal session with me, in your true yoga Tara style, can we set an affirmation for the conversation to follow? Absolutely. So let's set an affirmation for this beautiful conversation, which I know is going to be amazing. So you can gently close your eyes. Okay. I'll have to put my cue cards down. Yeah, please go ahead. Closing your eyes. Just relaxing your shoulders, sitting nice and tall. And just take a few deep breaths. Beautiful. And now we're going to affirm, say out loud, set an intention. Today's session is going to be the most inspiring, authentic, and invigorating, fun conversation. So you can repeat that in your mind. Feel the energy contained in each word. Authentic, fun, invigorating, inspiring. And that's exactly how this conversation is going to go. And with a nice smile, you can gently open your eyes. Yeah. So there we go. I'm so excited. And I'm also calmer now. Yes, it's my honor to be here. Thank you for having me. Thank you for being here, Tarini. So what I find most fascinating and interesting about you, Tarini, is that you balance these two very distinct career paths that from the outside seem to be so different from each other. On one hand, you are this go-getter, entrepreneur, designer. On the other hand, you're a yoga teacher and a meditation practitioner. So how do you as an individual manage this dichotomy between the materialistic world of fashion and then yoga? That's a very interesting question, and that's a question that I'm asked very often. So for me, both my professions that are also my passions, I love to invest my time into doing some of both of these things every single day.
But how much, which is basically striking the right balance, is something that I'm still learning to do. But what helps me to do that is prior planning. So I feel if I'm listing out certain tasks for the day or for the week or for the month ahead, then it's much clearer to me to know beforehand that, okay, this is the amount of time that I need to invest in my accessories work, and this is the amount of time that I need to put into my yoga. So both of these I absolutely love. I love practicing yoga, teaching yoga, but TN Accessories, which is Accessories, the brand, is something which is more of a structured business. It's a company that I'm running. So a lot
And
of
that
my
also
time
came before.
and that
Of
also
course,
came before.
so it grew more.
Right. So it grew more. So that has its, as I said, a structure to it. So every single day there are elements of both, but some days it's never 50-50. Some days it's 70-30, some days it's 60-40. So, but what helps me is prior planning. Yeah.
Okay, great. So that leads me to my second question. So, from a business point of view, do you ever feel that there is a conflict between Tarini Nirula, the personal brand, as a yoga teacher, and then Tarini, the designer behind TN Accessories, the fashion brand?
I think along these years, I have found a way to realize and also notice how both of these passions have merged into each other in a way. So, what I mean by this is that, say, for example, and we're talking about conflict between the two, right? So, if I'm practicing yoga and I'm practicing meditation, there are times where I get some very inspiring ideas for business. And sometimes when I'm working on TN accessories, there are times that I get ideas, creative ideas to innovate and structure my classes. So I think I have chosen to, very consciously chosen to look at both of these passions now as something that are going to help me and also help each other in the sense of be complementary to each other rather than be conflicting to each other.
I love that. So they sort of flow and mesh into each other.
Yes, in a way. That's how I've chosen to look at this for myself.
Amazing. Want to circle a bit back to when you started your journey. So you graduated from NIFT Delhi and you were in your early 20s when you started your accessories brand. So what inspired you to start the brand?
I think the inspiration for me more than anything else was to do something creative, do something big, and also have my name attached to it. It was really as simple as that. And what that led me to is what I'm doing today. So I always had a vision for myself. I remember even when I was in NIFT, even in school for that matter, in my art classes, I would visualize and literally I could imagine that there's my name on something somewhere, right? But at the time, I just didn't know what. And along the way, things worked. And of course, with a lot of challenges. So I think the inspiration was to do something big and find a way to get there. And of course, creativity has always been something that makes me feel so inspired. So that is what I would say.
Okay. I'm glad you touched upon visualization a bit because that was literally my next question to you. So, along your journey as a designer, you've had some amazing milestones. You collaborated with Manish Arora for his Paris Fashion Week show. And more recently, you debuted at the Cannes Film Festival this year. But what is more exciting for me is how you have manifested these goals using your vision boards. So tell us a bit more about that.
Yes. Well, I think on one hand, it sounds very glamorous, but the seed of this idea, of this vision, I think had been in my mind for a very long time. So I remember my workspace. I like to keep it as an inspired workspace for myself. So on the cupboards in front of me, on the walls in front of me, I had put up certain pictures that I look at and I feel good. And one of those pictures happened to be Manish Arora. And he's holding one of his designs, and I would just look at it every day, not really thinking anything in particular, but yes, it was always there. And
Nice.
it just one fine day, I get a call from their office, and
On their own, out of the blue.
yes, out of the blue.
Wow.
And this is exactly what I'm saying. That sometimes you don't exactly have a plan, but if your intention is there and it's strong, there is a way that's carved out. So in this particular case, I think that's what happened. And I get a call from their office, and one conversation led to another. And literally a couple of days later, I find myself sitting with one of my dream inspiring designers, Manish Arora, across the table, and I'm advising him on what we can do for the accessories to match with his collection for Paris Fashion Week.
Wow.
So that was, it was just a very, very exciting project for me to work on. And it gave me a lot of confidence. It encouraged me to also go after what I want to do in a more vigorous, stronger manner.
I love it. It literally exemplifies visualize to actualize.
Absolutely.
I want to talk a bit more in depth about TN Accessories, your beautiful bags, making it to the carpet at Cannes Film Festival that just happened earlier this year. So tell us how that happened. You've bought some of your beautiful bags as well in the studio for us to have a look. So tell us about that.
So, yes, it's been a very exciting milestone indeed to be one of the few Indian accessories designers to debut at the red carpet at the Cannes Film Festival. And of course, I always say again, this was an intention for me. It was either the Oscars or the Cannes Film Festival.
This was also on your vision board.
It wasn't consciously in front of me, but it was definitely there in my mind somewhere.
Oscars.
Oscars
will also happen. I know that.
So fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But so this happened in a very beautiful, organic way again. And a South Indian actress, and she is a producer as well. She reached out to us for this this cause that she believes in, that she wants to promote and showcase Indian artisans and brands at the red carpet. And, she was invited for the Cannes Film Festival. So we had a couple of conversations, went through the entire process. And I really liked the fact that, she was wanting to promote handcrafted brands. And I thought this is a great opportunity for us. So things worked out. And I'd like to show you that this was one of the beautiful yoga miniatures, which is yogini in a boat pose, that was showcased. She carried this design at the red carpet, and it's very close to my heart. Of course, each design has its own inspiration and story, but this particular one is blending my passion for yoga into accessories.
I can see that in your eyes.
Yes. So, and it's handcrafted. Yes, the sparkle, and it's handcrafted. So there are so many people who have actually led to the making of this design. So I wouldn't consider that. I won't even say this is my design. This is our design, because so many hands have gone into this. But I do feel that I was very happy to see that this design was showcased, and my aspiration to share the light of yoga is something that this is a conversation starter. Anyone carrying a design like this, someone asks you, hey, do you practice yoga? Or tell me a little bit more about your yoga practice, So, so many different ways and perspectives to look at it. But this was one of the beautiful designs that was at the council.
I love it. So both your passions made it to the carpet.
Yes.
So Tarini, I know you've been a spiritual person for most of your life. And then yoga and meditation started as a personal practice for you, which somewhere along the line you decided to pursue as a second career path. So how did that happen from a personal practice to wanting to pursue it as a career path?
I started practicing yoga close to 8 years ago. And the reason why I started practicing was because at the time I felt like I needed something to calm myself down. It was not for a physical purpose, it was more for an internal mental purpose. So a friend recommended that I go attend a yoga class. And when I went for the class, I instantly felt a difference, and it's really hard to put into words what I experienced. And it wasn't really an instant connect, but I did feel that there was some shift. It brought me back to the present. My mind was not being such a monkey mind anymore. And so I continued to practice, and I tried a lot of different schools of yoga. And the more I practiced, I realized that there were subtle changes that began to happen in terms of the way I was looking at things, the way I was thinking about things. And there was this one point in my life where I thought that the way it's impacting me, I so wish for this to help other people. And I really want to learn in a way that I can help and share the light of yoga.
So before I talk to you a bit more about the wellness space, an observation I made right now while talking to you, that right now fashion is mainstream, but I know when you started, it wasn't a career path that people chose. And also then the second career path that you chose was also not conventional, that of being a yoga teacher. And I just want to understand the role your family and your parents played, because they're both not career paths which even today I feel Indian parents would be very okay letting their children pursue, let alone two of them simultaneously.
The amount of gratitude I have towards the support that my parents, my sister, my family has given to me, I think a huge part of the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing and I'm also successful at it is because of their support. And I'd like to point out here that, whenever whenever you want to pursue your passion, there are so many people who have done great things even without the support of their families.
Yes.
But I feel
we are not taking away from that.
Yes, exactly. That's also a journey that people go through. But for me, I think I have been very blessed for the fact that my parents were able to understand, especially as you said, at a time where it wasn't considered as mainstream. Now I think it is in many ways, because every other person is, so many people want to start their own businesses in fashion, design, even yoga teachers nowadays. But back in the day, I think they trusted me, and they just, I think they knew that whatever our daughter does, she will find her way. I think they had that trust and faith in me. And I think for me, that constantly is there as it propels me to do what I do, to work harder, because I know that they've supported me and they continue to support me. And a lot of the times I go to them for advice. My father, he gives me financial advice, he gives me business management advice. So I would say it's almost like, at least the accessories business is almost like a family enterprise where everyone contributes, and I'm just so grateful for that.
That support has actually, I feel, in some way let you flourish
Yes.
in whatever direction you wanted to go to.
Absolutely.
Tarini, so now you've been teaching yoga for quite some time. So, what are some of the challenges you have faced as being a part of the wellness industry?
There are many challenges. Every day there are challenges. One challenge that is most definitely there, being a teacher and a practitioner, is the fact that uh, part of my job profile is to listen to my students, is to listen to the people who are practicing yoga with me. And everyone these days, people go through so much. So there are many times where I'll have conversations where I'll be listening, and at the time you think that it's not impacting you at all, but then later on there are moments where you feel a certain heaviness sometimes, or you feel bad, or you feel like, I wish there was something more I could do for this person, right? But I have learned and understood that there is the fact that I'm in the yoga practice, there is a way to channelize this energy. And so, this challenge that is still there, I think, has become slightly easier and more manageable for me, because of the fact that I have my own ways to channelize that energy through my own practice, through my own moments of stillness.
Tarini, I feel we live in such an uncertain world, and stress is rampant, and especially post COVID. Our anxieties related to health, our own health, health of our near and dear ones, is on an all-time high. A lot of people listening right now would be going through similar health concerns, either themselves or seeing someone very close to them go through it. So, like you said, you had a way of channelizing your energies. So, what did you do, and what can someone in a similar situation do?
That time was a tough time for, I think, almost everyone. There were family members, there were friends, relatives who were going through so much, for everyone. And personally, for me, yes, it was a tough time, but I do feel that we came out on the other side simply because there were times where it was a constant internal mental conversation that was happening. And I think that was the time where, you put in all your strength to tell yourself that this is it. You have to be positive. You have to visualize everyone being healthy, coming out of things, and of course, finding time to really put yourself in a space of maybe some deep breaths, just sitting together as a family, and affirming the fact that everything's going to be okay. So I feel it was a combination of things that personally for me worked. It was a lot of meditation and visualizing people being healthy at the time. So you don't know how these things happen, but it could be either the right doctor that comes into the picture, it could be the right form of treatment that comes into the picture. But I do really believe that there is power in finding stillness within yourself, and then instilling that positive, powerful thinking into your thoughts from that space of stillness. And that reaches the other person. That energy reaches the other person.
Absolutely. Choose better thoughts, and it
Yes.
actually changes your reality.
It's a choice, and
It's a
choose better
choice.
thoughts.
Yes. Lovely. Um, you know, right now we have many different forms of meditation, umpteen forms of yoga. Like it's like we
So many.
so many.
Puppy yoga, bear yoga,
hot yoga.
Hot yoga.
Like there's a different technique and even relaxation techniques, like a different technique popping up every single day.
Yes.
But what are some of your favorite and very easy to do wellness techniques that you would advise to everybody listening in?
I think the first thing I would advise and suggest to people is to just find moments of contentment in your day. So whether that means taking out the time to just go for a walk, whether that means writing in your journal, whether that means just gazing at the sky. You know, these days we are so stimulated with our phone and laptops and conversations. So just to find tiny pockets in the day for finding contentment, looking at how far you've come and just being present. So that's one. A second simple way to get connected is through deep breaths. I always feel no matter where you are, rather than preaching too much, just find yourself a place, sit comfortably with yourself. That's all you need, yourself. And sit straight, practice a few deep breaths, close your eyes, and just go inwards into a space of stillness. If the thoughts come, that's fine. If they go, that's fine. It doesn't matter. That's the second. And I think the third would be just to constantly, every single day, lift yourself up. I mean, this may not be a meditative practice, but this is more to do with self-love and to do with something that you always have within yourself, and that is true beauty, true peace, and true.
So the internal chatter.
So the internal chatter, try to focus a little bit on making it more positive towards yourself, your body, your mind, the food you eat, the choices you make. So be kinder to yourself. In yoga, we call that ahimsa. So being kinder to yourself.
Someone who's just starting a yoga or a meditation practice, for someone like that, a lot of people, I think, fall off it because they find it very hard to stay consistent.
Correct.
What would you say to someone who wants to start a meditation practice but finds it hard to stay consistent?
I would say that includes me, because there are days where I'm really not as consistent as I'd want to be.
Yeah.
But there are two things I'd say. One is that it's okay. If the intention is there to make a small shift by, say, infusing a short meditation practice daily, that is better than not having any intention at all. So if you have that intention and you are not able to practice for 3 days or 5 days out of a week, it's okay, even if you can do 2. Coming to my second point, that something is better than nothing. So, we always think we need to create the perfect environment for ourselves. We have to have a yoga mat with a candle and everything kept around us.
I was one of those for the longest time.
Yes, to wait for the space to be perfect for us to practice. But really, something is better than nothing. Even if you can take out 2 minutes to find a space and practice, that's good enough.
Yeah.
Start with that, and then you'll notice that you start to feel better and you want to practice more.
I think it's the smaller actions, like every small action that starts adding up.
Absolutely.
Rather than waiting for the conditions to be perfect.
It's the baby steps that help you get to where you want to be.
I want to ask you a few more questions.
Okay.
But let's make this a little more fun.
Yes.
I've decided to call this segment Busting Myths with Tarini.
Okay.
So are you ready to bust some myths for us, Tarini?
I'm absolutely ready. I think I'm going to have a sip of water.
Let's take a water break. Let's hydrate.
Let's hydrate. And go for it.
Yeah. Yoga is only for relaxation and flexibility. We need to do weights and cardio for weight reduction.
Myth. Complete myth. Yoga is a holistic practice. It gives you exactly what you need, whether it's stronger thinking, whether it's a stronger willpower, whether it's to lose weight, whether it's to think more positively. It gives you exactly what you need. It is not for one specific thing, and everyone can practice yoga.
You're going to love the next one.
Yeah.
You need a business degree or an MBA to be a successful entrepreneur.
Oh, wow. Oh, this is a myth, a complete myth. I mean, I do not want to negate the fact that doing a business degree definitely comes with its massive advantages. No doubt about that. But personally, since I have not studied an MBA, maybe I choose to in the future, who knows? But for the time being, you can still build a business if your intention to learn is there, and to also have mentors around you who can guide you. I think you can start a business, you can be successful at a business, and it's a myth.
That's why I asked you, because you studied design, but you're a successful entrepreneur today.
Yes, and still lots to do, lots to achieve, but
you don't need a professional degree to.
It helps, but you don't need it. It's not a dire need.
Okay, the next one. To be regarded as a spiritual person, one must renounce materialistic pursuits.
Myth. Another big myth. There are very, very few of us living in this day and age where we can just go away, renounce everything,
live in the Himalayas,
live in the mountains, and just say that, we're just going to practice it. That's it. That's our life. Yoga is to be practiced in your daily life, and not on the mat, but also off the mat. And I think one of the biggest things it's taught me is to find calmness within the chaos. And chaos is life. Life comes with its own sets of challenges, with its good times as well. But when you practice within where you are, the space that you are, that is true yoga. So this is a myth. Anyone can practice yoga anywhere they are.
Okay, my absolute favorite one. Tarini has seen Friends, like literally all seasons of Friends, each episode at least 8 times.
Oh my God, this is, you really done your homework. I'd say it's partly a myth. I don't know if I've seen every episode 8 times, probably close, but I just love Friends. It's my go-to for any kind of a mood, and it gives me exactly what I need. And I've seen it so many times, and I still watch it again and again and again.
I think you've seen it more than 8 times, and you're just not admitting it on camera. But I'll let that be. So, okay, I have to ask you this. What's your all-time favorite Friends quote?
Friends quote. Oh my God, I have so many.
If you were to pick one.
If I were to pick one, okay. There's this scene in which someone asks Chandler for advice, and he goes like, "I'm no good at advice, but can I care to interest you in a sarcastic comment?" And I just love that because he's owning it. He's like, "This is what I'm good at, and this is what I can offer you, a sarcastic comment." So
I love that. That's not one of the obvious choices. I love it.
Or, so
we were on a break.
I know.
I love that one.
So,
Tarini, we also have another really fun segment for you. It's called Rapid Fire with D. And we have Divya in the studio to ask you some very fun and very rapid questions.
Are you ready? I'm ready. Ready as I'll ever be.
I'm scared.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah. I don't know what these questions are.
Okay. So, yoga or Pilates?
Yoga.
Yoga in a studio or yoga outside?
Yoga in nature.
Your favorite yoga pose?
It's a tough one. I love dancing Shiva.
Wow, I don't know what that is. I need to go Google it.
So it's also known as Natraj Asan, Natraj pose. I don't know if I can stand up here and do it, but yeah. So you stand up and you're on. It's a balancing pose. So it's excellent for mind stillness, focus. So you stand and then you lift up your right leg and you move forward, and then you lift your left arm up into a mudra like this. So it's a very fluid, graceful kind of a pose, and you're sort of in a balancing pose.
So we're going to come to studio.
Yeah. Anytime.
And set mindfulness. So journaling or meditation.
Meditation.
For someone who's trying to meditate, what's your best go-to meditation app?
I love Calm. I think it has a lot of variety from like literally 30 seconds to 5 minutes to half an hour. So, it has something for everyone. You can sort of learn. Yeah, take it at your own pace. Yeah.
I love that. I've tried it.
Yeah.
And I had space.
And headspace as well. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
One advice for someone who wants to start meditating.
Just start. Don't think how, where, when, what's going to happen, how am I going to feel. Just start. That is the only way you will experience the beauty of meditation. Yeah.
Okay, finally, what does Because She Can mean for you?
Because She Can is anyone who's empowered in just who she is. Not trying to fit into a box, not trying to change, yes, evolve, but just have that power and belief in herself to go for what it takes and, not stop anywhere, be unstoppable, and a lot of self-belief to express herself and be true to herself.
Wow. Very well said.
That's very well said, especially,
not checking the boxes.
Yes.
And you literally epitomize that, where you refuse to be boxed into a designer, whether your accessories are in cans, whether it's your yoga, whether it's your meditation. Yeah, you really inspire us to think out the box and really be unstoppable.
Oh, thank you. You're all unstoppable in your own ways, and I'm equally happy and very inspired to be here. Yeah.
And as thank you for being here, we are going to do something celebrate you.
Oh.
So, how lovely. Because She Can beauty from us to you.
Oh, that is so kind, and it has my name.
Oh, Because She Can. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It was an absolute honor. Thank you. Thank you, Stuti.